Karrion Kross posts a cryptic message after WWE release. Bray Wyatt teases his next move with a tweet, and Keith Lee comments on the Bearcat gimmick name change. What's up, everyone? I'm Jose G, and there is a lot to talk about in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. Never miss brand new content by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Karrion Kross posts a cryptic message after WWE release. Former WWE superstar Karrion Kross posted a cryptic message on Twitter after his shocking release from the promotion. The two-time NXT champion was one of 18 superstars released by WWE earlier this week. The latest round of cuts has caught everyone off guard. It didn't take long for Karrion Kross to send a message to his fans as he posted a cryptic video of what appears to be a graveyard. His tweet seemingly hinted that he might re-emerge as Killer Kross. The former NXT champion rose to prominence as Killer Kross while performing for Impact Wrestling, Lucha Libre AAA, Major League Wrestling, and multiple other promotions on the independent circuit. Despite being a two-time champion for WWE's third brand, Karrion Kross had a rocky start to his career on the main roster. He was brought on to Monday Night Raw to feud with former WWE champion Jeff Hardy. In a quick match, the latter defeated Kross, breaking his undefeated streak. Later, in an attempt to fully repackage the star, WWE gave him a new theme song and gear. Scarlett Bordeaux, who was Kross's manager during his time in NXT and a prominent part of his presentation, was absent as Kross settled on the red brand. However, the new gimmick for Kross didn't work out as well as WWE would have planned, with many fans and former superstars saying that his gimmick had been watered down. Booker T wants some major changes after WWE releases. Former WWE star Booker T thinks the women's division needs a revamp following the recent set of WWE releases. A number of female superstars from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT were released by WWE on Thursday. The likes of Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Eva Marie, Mia Yim, Scarlett Bordeaux, B-Fab, Frankie Monet, Zeta Ramir, Jessie Kamea, and Katrina Cortez were the women released by the company. On his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T stated that the women's division has to create new stars going forward, and an NXT 2.0 version of a revamp is required for them, saying, quote, "I think the women's division needs to be revamped just like NXT 2.0. Honestly, we got so much talent as far as the women go, and we really don't get the chance to see, the vast majority of the ladies on the roster. Of course, we know Charlotte. Of course, we know Becky. Of course, we know Sasha. Who else is out there, other than Mandy Rose and her crew, that you really want to look at and watch and go, I need to see them. I need to see more of them?" It's because Mandy Rose has been given an opportunity which she's taken full advantage of. Going out there and doing what? Making you look, making you feel a certain way, and making you want to tune in when Mandy and her crew walk out. End quote. The WWE legend thinks that the female superstars have to stand out to make an impact in the women's division. WWE has released a number of superstars since the pandemic struck last year, which has resulted in a much smaller roster. The women's division has been especially hit hard by the releases. The Raw women's roster currently has just 12 superstars, including the likes of Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan, just to name a few. The SmackDown women's roster has even fewer female performers presently, as there are only 10 active female stars on the Blue brand. Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks are the most prominent names on that side of the roster. Bray Wyatt teases his next move with a tweet. Former WWE superstar Bray Wyatt has left Twitterati speculating with his latest cryptic message. It has been a while since WWE released Wyatt. Amidst rumors about what's next for the former WWE champion, he is dropping occasional hints with cryptic tweets. Bray Wyatt has now shared another message. His tweet seemingly hinted that he's waiting for the right time and the right place to make his big return. Last week, Bray Wyatt posted a tweet hinting that his non-compete clause was nearing its end. He did quite well for himself during his WWE run, even though the promotion didn't use his full potential. Ever since Bray Wyatt was released, fans have been speculating about him possibly joining Tony Khan's All Elite Wrestling. AEW now houses several former WWE superstars, and the promotion has breathed new life into the careers of many of them. Only time will tell if the former world champion goes to the new promotion or not. Mia Yim confirms WWE release and sends out booking information. Mia Yim confirmed that she was included in the latest round of WWE releases. She was one of 18 superstars who were released from the company as a part of the latest round of budget cuts. Yim and her partner Keith Lee were released together, and the former NXT superstar has since commented on her release on Twitter. Yim's main roster career has been up and down over the past year since debuting as Reckoning in Retribution. After the group went their separate ways at Fastlane earlier this year, Yim has been missing from TV. There were reports that Yim was set to debut on SmackDown before being moved over to Raw as a part of the recent WWE draft. But despite moving from brand to brand several times, Yim hasn't appeared on TV. It came as a surprise that Lee and Yim were both released as a part of the recent budget cuts, since Lee had recently debuted a new character and was part of last week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Keith Lee comments on the Bearcat gimmick immediately after his WWE release. In the aftermath of his shocking WWE release, Keith Lee has revealed that he didn't come up with the Bearcat gimmick idea. While Keith Lee is yet to issue an official statement on his WWE release, the former NXT champion responded to a fan's comment on his most recent Instagram post. The fan claimed that Keith Lee picked the Bearcat moniker, but that is far from the truth. Lee responded by saying that he was not responsible for the Bearcat nickname. Keith Lee was one of 18 superstars released by WWE earlier this week. The latest round of budget cuts has unsurprisingly caught the entire fan base off guard. Lee joined WWE in May of 2018 after spending several years on the independent circuit. The talented big man gradually rose to become one of NXT's most established stars and etched his name in the history books as the brand's first ever double champion. After a successful spell in NXT, Lee was called up to Raw following last year's SummerSlam. There was a lot of hype surrounding his main roster run. However, a series of questionable booking decisions led to Lee experiencing an underwhelming start to his WWE Raw career. Lee was reportedly in line to win the United States title until he was forced to go on a 5-month hiatus to address multiple health-related issues. Lee returned earlier this year and was renamed Keith Bearcat Lee, an ode to legendary wrestler Edward Bearcat Wright. Despite the lukewarm response, fans were hopeful of seeing a resurgence for Lee in the WWE. Unfortunately for all involved parties, Lee is no longer a WWE superstar. He will reportedly have to wait out the 90-day non-compete clause before signing with another company. Sportskeeda Wrestling sends its best wishes to Keith Lee and Mia Yim and all the recently released superstars. Thanks for watching today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. For exclusive content you never want to miss, you gotta subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. Follow us on all social media and download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.